Welcome to Live from Size Lounge, showcasing alumni of Iowa State University and cyclones everywhere, making communities, Iowa, and the world a better place. Hello, cyclones everywhere, and welcome to a special edition of Live from Size Lounge. My name is Matt Van Winkle with the ISU Alumni Association. Well, homecoming is happening at Iowa State right now. Festivities are going on Central Campus. And this year's homecoming theme is Sigh of the Storm. So we thought we'd bring in somebody who knows a thing or two about storms here in Iowa. We got Channel 13 meteorologist Brett McIntyre here. Brett, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. It's always good to get back up into Ames, get back onto campus. So it's great to be here.
Yeah, you got the tie.
We're ready to go.
You're matching Sigh back here, so.
Yeah, we're all coordinated.
Yeah, so what are some homecoming memories you have? You were telling me you wrote for the Iowa State Daily in college.
Yeah, so there's always all of the fun, all the lead up of the week, all the different activities, things going on Central Campus. So wandering around there, meeting up with friends and everybody. Of course, that's something that everybody experiences. But the games themselves, like you said, I was always writing for the Daily. Yep. So I'd be up in the press box for the games themselves. So I'd kind of miss out a little bit on some of the game day stuff just because of all that. But that was always fun. It was just another unique way to get to, not a lot of people get to watch games from that point, because when I wrote for the Daily, I covered football and men's basketball, so I'm sitting in the press box. Wasn't homecoming, but in 2005, when we had the tornado game, up in the press box there, and we could see out the backside, we actually saw the tornado that touched down on Ames. That's when everybody kind of went into the stairwells.
A unique perspective there from the high above Jack Trice.
Yeah.
I was actually at that game as well, and I was sitting in the last row of Jack Trice, but that was obviously after the tornadoes had passed. But,
it was a wild day, because I remember I think my last class got out at 3 that day. Okay. And we got out, it was bright and sunny, and it was windy, and it was, it was November, but it was like hot, obviously. Yeah. Then by the time we got over to the stadium, then all the TVs in the press box are on, and the weather's going, and they're talking about the tornadoes in Woodward and coming this way. So then we're all standing, pressed up against the windows, watching it come in. And saw it dip down, and like, we should probably find a different place than right in front of the window.
Well, we're not expecting any tornadoes, hopefully, at this homecoming game. So you graduated from Iowa State in 2008 with a degree in journalism and meteorology, 2 different degrees. So did you have a pretty good idea that you wanted to get into meteorology? Yeah,
that was kind of the plan since probably that was 4 or 5. So meteorology was kind of always the plan. My dad wrote for sports for the newspaper in Fort Dodge, so I kind of had that with me. So that, growing up, my jobs had been umpiring baseball and doing little league. So when I got to Iowa State, I went into the Daily and got started there for the job on the side. But yeah, meteorology was always the plan, and I kind of always wanted to do broadcast meteorology. So I thought, hey, it'll be easy to double major with journalism, get into the video classes and all that, and just kind of things snowballed from there. And I think it was probably late in my junior or senior year, just with the credits that I had transferred in from high school as well. Sitting down with the advisor, kind of realized, hey, there's kind of this fine print and whatever here that you've got enough credits, you take maybe 1 or 2 more classes here or there, and it'll be 2 degrees instead of just a double major. So that's how that turned out.
Cool. So you graduated from Iowa State and you started at WHO. And it's been 13 years since you've been there, right?
Yeah. I graduated in May of 2008 and started in the middle of July. So I had about 2 months in between there to just kind of to chill before I started. I had done an internship the previous summer with the sports department, because I needed to do the journalism required an internship. So I needed to do something where I could get hands-on with the camera. So, I'd known Keith and Andy just from running into them at games, working for the Daily. So I weaseled in with them for a summer internship, and then followed that up in the winter, interning with Jerry and Ritter for weather, and did that for meteorology. So I just kind of hung around there. until they say, all right, fine, we'll give you a job, just here we go. So that worked out.
Yeah, and so you're from Fort Dodge, you're from Iowa. So what does it mean for you to be able to report on the weather being from this state?
It's real cool because, then you're still close to all your friends and family. They get to watch you, you get to talk about them. It's talking about an area that and all the places, all the little towns. It's hard when if you either you have to go somewhere else or you watch people come in that aren't familiar for the area, and it's a struggle to try and learn that. So that really, I think, helped me to my advantage. Just you get to start and hey, I already know all of these places. So it takes one fewer thing on your plate that you've got to worry about when you're getting started. What
does a typical day for a meteorologist look like from when you get in to when you leave?
Oh, well, the typical day is we kind of get in and we start kind of going over all the forecast stuff. It's about a 2-hour process to get a show on the air. We sit down. We redo the 7-day basically at the beginning of every shift. So at least twice a day, the 7 days kind of restarted from scratch. Yeah. Put that forecast together. Got to build all the graphics. We got to do our own hair, makeup. So there's really nobody that helps us with anything. So anything that goes on the air, on me or on the graphics, I've had my hands on it. Yeah. So it's about a 2-hour process. On a normal day or quiet day, we've got radio forecasts. We've got stuff. We've got a tape for the web. So once the show goes on the air, it's maybe a minute weather in the first segment, and then the actual weather forecast is 2:45 to 3. So 30-minute show, I've got like 4 minutes where I'm on TV. So the TV show, the actual newscast is like the slowest part of my day. It's like I'll do a thing and kick my feet up and surf the web until it's my turn again.
Yeah. Do you think Iowa is the best place to be a meteorologist because we really do get true seasons here?
Yeah, it's cool because we get 4 different and distinct seasons. You get spring and fall. You get severe weather in there. You get true winter, and so that's kind of what everybody always talked about is, well, where do you want to go, and where do you want to end up for your career? And it was always in the Midwest, in Iowa, in Kansas City. San Diego is nice, but it's really boring when it's just 78 and sunny every day. Right. Which we get into stretches like that here too, where we come in and we're sitting here with Ed, and we're just, geez, this weather is so boring. Yeah. About the time we say that, then we're slammed with severe weather, and we're there till 2 in the morning for 3 or 4.
Well, that's typically in the summer when you guys can go on vacation and
one of us leaves and everything just goes nuts.
So as we all know, living in this state, all of us here have lived in Iowa at some point watching this, the weather can be unpredictable, as we said. So what are some of the weather events that you've covered that really stand out in your career?
Well, the derecho is probably the one that comes to mind. It's the most recent, and that was, we knew there was going to be a chance for storms. We thought it would be maybe more later in the day that day. But there was at least a chance that there could be some early morning storms, because I remember waking up and checking the radar, and where those storms started out in South Dakota and Nebraska, there were 1 or 2 warnings, and most of the time they fall apart at that time of day. And so I was like, okay, I'll kind of keep checking on that. And I just keep looking at the radar, and that thing's getting bigger and bigger, and it's going faster and faster. So now I'm trying to go faster and faster. So that was a crazy storm. We've had a couple of winter storms. One, I think maybe my second winter at the station, where we had I think 14 or 15 inches of snow in Des Moines, and that was crazy. And in between when I graduated and started, was the Parkersburg Tornado, and I was chasing on that storm and got into Parkersburg about 4 minutes after the tornado went through there. So that obviously was an experience.
Wow, absolutely. Yeah, we know the devastation that derecho had even on campus here. A lot of trees had to be taken down, and just a lot of damage that happened to our campus here.
Yeah, it's left a pretty big mark all across the state, and it's one of those things that you can't fix the tree, so that'll be there for a while.
So, Brett, Iowa State graduates like you are making their communities, the state of Iowa, and the world a better place. And I have to think that the work that you do as a meteorologist, your number one goal is just to keep people safe, right? Yep. How do you think that you've been able to use your education and your degrees here from Iowa State to help keep people safe and just help people here in the state? Yeah,
Iowa State, the meteorology program, it's well respected across the country. It pulls in people from all over. There's a pretty big tradition of meteorologists that have been on TV in Des Moines at the stations that are connected to Iowa State. So I think I hear from a lot of people when they move away from Iowa State, or move away from Iowa, even if they go to a bigger city in the Midwest, they sometimes miss the weather coverage from all of the stations in Des Moines. And so I think we get spoiled with such a top-notch program that's just right up the road from Des Moines where our stations are, and gives us access to that level of trained people.
Yeah, great. Well, Brett, thank you so much for joining us here today. And before we let you go, obviously we have the big homecoming game coming up on Saturday against Oklahoma State. And you got a little forecast you prepared for us, right?
Yeah, I've got one ready to go. So we'll get a look at that.
Sounds good.
A homecoming forecast here for Iowa State. The Cyclones back at home here, Jack Trice Stadium. Of course, everyone piling on in to Ames, tailgating, getting into the game. It's going to be a great fall afternoon for homecoming, but we're all going to want to be dressed like it. 55 degrees, our kickoff temperature. Again, this is 2:30. So we're going to have most of the day. That's going to be pretty close to the high. That's as warm as it's going to be. Good news is there's not a strong breeze at all, but for folks that are going to be out doing the tailgating, maybe reacquainting with old friends, different tailgates, and making the tours through the lots, 37 at 8 a.m. We've got chili on the list at our tailgate, so I might encourage you to do the same. And by the time we get to the end of the game, roaming around, we'll have temperatures back down into the 40s. Get no wind out there. Probably start off mostly sunny by the end of the game, maybe back to mostly cloudy skies, but no rain in the forecast either. Happy homecoming to all our Cyclone fans out there. Again, enjoy the game.
We hope to see you here on campus for homecoming festivities. Friday is our open house and pep rally here at the Alumni Center, followed by pancakes, campaigning, and fireworks on Central Campus, and of course the football game against Oklahoma State on Saturday, with our Cyclone Central tailgate opening 3 hours before kickoff at the Alumni Center. For those who can't be here in Ames, we also have a number of virtual opportunities for you to get involved. Just visit isualum.org/homecoming. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time live from Size Lounge. This series is made possible by members of the Alumni Association. If you are interested in staying connected to the university and receiving all the benefits and services of being a member, visit isualum.org.